You're listening to Danny de Hek, aka the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger. I earned that nickname by having a full-featured article in the New York Times, who published a story about my quest to name and shame anyone running a Ponzi scheme or a scam. I hope you enjoy the show. Hello, I'm Danny de Hek, aka the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger. This is video number 2 in our series, and in this video we're going to give you a 101 basics on what cryptocurrency is all about. Now, I did ask Rob if he was available to come over and help me out do this video, but he was not available. Jesus!
Oh,
What are you doing here?
whoa!
He turned up, my mate turned up to help me explain to mum and dad investors.
Yeah,
They'll know what Vespers is. But they will also know that mum and dad investors, I can't say it.
Investors.
Yeah, investors are actually probably at home trying to figure out what cryptocurrency is about. Now,
Right now, they're at home, mate. They're on the rocking chair. Nana's doing the knitting.
yeah.
All right. The old guy's having a smoke. Reading the newspaper. Stopped it. Danny's on. Danny's on. Better watch.
Over the last couple of years, been doing a lot of videos, and so is Rob. What we're finding out is that the demographics of people that get involved in crypto are not 18 to 25-year-olds like I first thought when I started getting involved in crypto. It's actually the retired people who are heading to retirement, 55 plus, are getting involved in cryptocurrency.
I had never noticed that.
I just made it up.
I think you could be right, though.
Yeah, it seems that way because we spend, well, I think you're pretty much the same. Rob and I spend over probably 70 hours a week looking at Zoom meetings with all these people trying to understand and get their head around terminology used by people who invest in crypto opportunities of a lifetime.
Be a lot more entertaining if they were 18 to 25. Just saying. Just saying.
Keep it above the waistline.
I'm just saying.
Just above the waist. That's why we're filming head up. We've both got no pants on. That does not come across right. No. Told you. Anyway, back to us. Alas, Smith and Jones comes to mind right now, just saying.
Who?
I don't know them. Some old beats. So, I hate saying so. What we're trying to do is just give you a brief overview of cryptocurrency and what it's all about. So I've got some notes here, and the first one is the title. It should be called Crypto 101, Know the Basics. What I'd like to liken it to is regular money. If you were going to invest in a company that was regulated and it was a registered company, you would probably check out the company. You might even go visit the company, and you might even read up about them in some investment magazine.
Prospectus.
Is that what it's called?
Mm.
That's why I brought Rob along. So you would go along to your bank. You first of all probably get a contract. You'd probably get an amount of money that you're going to invest. You would probably learn that you're going to grab some shares. You might do it via an app, and you might invest in shares, or you actually might go along to your conventional bank and ask to transfer some money from your bank account to a proper somebody else's bank account number.
Share broker.
You might use a share broker. But with cryptocurrency, it's a little bit different. Now, cryptocurrency is quite complicated simply because I likened it when we were talking earlier on to saying if you're going on a holiday, you would go along to the money exchanges and you'd ask them, you'd say, look, I'm going to Canada, I'm going to Fiji, and I'm going to Timbuktu, and I need some currency for each of those countries that I'm visiting.
Fiat currency.
Fiat currency's basic currency that we use, the banks use.
Money.
That's it. It's exactly what he said. He's correct. So if I was going to Canada, I would take my New Zealand dollars and I'd ask them to transfer $100 New Zealand to whatever the going rate is for Canadian dollars. And the exchange would take a small fee for holding the money, and they would check out the daily exchange rate, and I'd probably get what I was entitled to for that day.
Or close to.
Yeah, and then when I turn up in Canada a week or 2 weeks later, you may not liking my words today, you might find that the currency is slightly different. Well, cryptocurrency ain't far different than that. There's all these exchanges. And before I did this video, I searched how many crypto exchanges have fallen over between 2021 and 2023, and it listed 24 crypto exchanges.
Exchanges?
Yeah.
Actual exchanges?
Yep.
Like Binance Exchange?
Well, Binance actually had a massive hack in 2018, but they managed to recover from it, which I was quite surprised. Well, they could have. But also, just recently, last week, the head honcho at Binance has admitted...
CZ?
Is that
CZ.
Yeah. He admitted that he's been doing money laundering. Well, he could be locked up.
He could.
So my point is...
Imagine the sound of the washing machine. Just
My point is, a lot of these exchanges that people hold their money in are unstable. And there was another interesting thing I was talking to Rob about.
Could be an exchange.
No, you can't exchange. Well, you could be making a lot of money.
I'm unstable.
Yeah, no, it's different. So there's hot wallets and there's cold wallets. So imagine you've got your wallet. The wallet. Now this is what I might call my wallet. Any money that's in here.
Is it hot? Like
$100. I've had that in my wallet for over 5 years. And this is my... I would be fair to say this is my cold wallet because the money that's in here is stable because it's in my back pocket. But I could lose my wallet. Now, it's similar with crypto exchange. Your cold wallet is something you put in your back pocket. A hot wallet is something that you might deposit your $100 that you just saw me hold in the bank. And if you leave it in the bank and the bank falls over, you could lose all your money. So at the moment, if you wanted to invest in a crypto opportunity, you'd need to go to an exchange and you'd need to use your credit card because a lot of banks don't let you use your debit card to buy cryptocurrency. There are a few, but when I first got into cryptocurrency and I bought $100 worth, the credit card, well, the debit card I was using was jammed. Even though it had the credit card symbol on the back, I had to ring up the bank and say, what's going on? And they said, you are trying to transfer your fiat money into a crypto exchange. And that's waves a red flag. And we actually even have... We actually have a red flag just in case you don't know what they are. So the bank actually jammed my money just in case something dubious was going on. So now these days, if I want to buy any crypto, I will use my credit card. And I've already gone through the process of verifying with my credit card company that I know what I'm doing, and they basically get me to sign my life away. When I get my money onto the exchange, then I need to convert my money from the exchange's currency into something that's sort of like, they call it USDT, which is the strongest currency on any of the exchanges. And
is it?
Well, I think it is.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just have heard that all of those schemes all seem to use USDT.
So the big question is, once you get your money into these crypto exchanges, can you get your money out? And if you don't know how to get your money out of these crypto exchanges, then are you sure that investing in crypto opportunities is a good idea for you? And the logic is, everyone must be able to get the money out, right?
But surely you can withdraw.
How would you go about that, Rob?
Well, you just put your card... Oh, you don't have a card, do you? You don't have a crypto card, do you?
No.
You would just go into the app or whatever and say, I would like to withdraw, wouldn't you?
Well, can you transfer the money back onto your credit card?
No.
So there is companies out there, like when I transferred $1,000 out of my USDT wallet, there's a company in New Zealand called Easy Crypto, and they provided a service which charged me, I think, $30 or $40, so 3 or 4%, to transfer the money back into my bank account. And that was the first time I figured out how to do it. But I had been playing around on crypto for about, I don't know, maybe 6 months before I realized I wanted to get my money out. And then my heart started racing, thinking, it's not that easy. So that's a red flag in itself. The fact that getting your money out of these crypto exchanges is actually a hard job. And the other one is, what crypto exchange do I trust?
STX, that's a big one. You could trust that.
Yeah, so if you are going to play around, you need to figure out, first of all, how to get your money onto a crypto exchange. The next thing is, so we're just going through the basics. What other notes have we got there? So it's a digital currency or a virtual form of currency. And did you know how many different forms of currency there is in the world? In fiat currency?
Oh, there's at least 4.
Well, there's 144 countries in the world, last time I counted.
Yes, but a lot of them use dollars.
Did you know I've been to one of the smallest countries in the world, and just a bit of useless information, as Rob would normally say. Do you know what country that is?
Laos?
This country has 8 miles of artwork. Do you know what country it is?
Of what? 8 miles of what?
Artwork.
Artwork. Small country.
Own currency.
Oh.
Think of Jesus Christ's friends.
Israel?
No.
Jordan?
No.
Am I close?
You could walk around this country easily in a couple of hours.
Vatican City.
Got it. Yep, they have their own currency and they have a lot of wealth in that country. So I'm not sure how many different currencies or how many there are in the world, but when it comes to cryptocurrencies, last count, I think you said there's 25,000 different currencies ahead of where all Satoshi's was coin.
Yeah. There's a lot of cryptocurrencies competing to be number 1.
So what is the number 1 currency in the world at the moment? And that is one called Bitcoin.
Cryptocurrency or fiat currency?
Cryptocurrency.
Thank you.
All right. Now, Bitcoin is they are mining for the crypto. Now, how do you mine for crypto?
Shovel.
Right. It does sound unusual, mining, but from my knowledge, and I may not be 100% right because I'm not a crypto genius, but I do talk to a lot of people that say they understand how crypto works. But because the jargon is so complicated and it hurts my head every now and again, sometimes you don't need to understand everything, but you do need to look out for the pitfalls. So Bitcoin is basically mined by doing a mathematical equation that burns up a lot of CPU, a lot of energy, and because it uses a lot of energy, it mines a crypto coin. And these crypto coins, because it's used a lot of energy, it's now theoretically worth something of value. And one Bitcoin 2 years ago may have been worth 65,000 US dollars or more. And today they're currently worth 33,000.
I haven't looked recently, but it was only like 27 like a few weeks back. Yeah, but I think it's gone up.
Yeah, so the idea is that, for example, you might have had $1 million in crypto, and within 2 weeks, that could have dropped right down to $330,000 worth, because it fluctuates like just absolutely shocking. So it's a very unstable environment to put your money in.
Depending on who believes it's worth X amount of money and whether they are buying or selling.
Yeah, so if you went along and put $10,000 in your fiat currency bank, that money would probably stay the same value. But a lot of what we're talking about is people who are investing in crypto opportunities, and they use scare tactics saying that your bank isn't giving you any interest, so you're much better putting your money into crypto. But your principal that you put into crypto can be something that could be jeopardized very easily. So a lot of these crypto opportunities, you hear them saying that we're paying 1% per day, and people can just hear, the banks don't pay 1% per day. But when you go to withdraw your money, that is the red flag, the danger, that you can't get your money out of the platforms that you invest in, nor can you get them back to an exchange which will let you take your money out. And then if the exchange is also a bit shady, every time you transfer money from one currency to the other, the crypto exchange will take a fee for doing so. And they do this because everything that happens on the blockchain stays on the blockchain. But everything that happens on the blockchain generates energy, and that means electricity. So if all the power went out in the world, unfortunately, crypto would disappear, because that's what the gas fees are often for, is to pay for the people. Like if I wanted to, I had a friend that had a bank of computers in his home. No, quite a while ago. Bartos, if you listen to this. And he used to get, he used to make $8,000 a month from having computers in his house that he had running on the internet, and he was using them for mining or letting the blockchain use them for verification purposes. But his power bill each month was actually $4,500 per month. So he was making $3,500 a month from running hardware or computers in his house. And then when I saw him a couple of 3 months ago, I said, are you still mining for crypto, or are you still part of the internet? Have you still got your bank of computers? He goes, hell no. It's not effective to actually do mining anymore. And that's why they reckon 90% of the computers that are keeping the internet going, now how does it work? 10% of the computers that are keeping the internet going is doing 90% of the transactions. I found that somewhere.
Interesting.
I don't know if that's... So just to stay on target, what we're trying to do is just give you an understanding how crypto works. And I'm not sure if I've explained much of it yet.
There were a couple of things that I got out of what you said.
Okay.
And that is that if you want regulation, which equals protection, you want regular money. So regulation and regular money go hand in hand. So that was one thing. And another thing that I got is that, interestingly, is that there's kind of two types of cryptocurrencies as well. There's the Bitcoin one, where the coins are mined, and then there's the other one where the coins are just produced.
And we haven't discussed what tokens are either, and I'm not going to go into that because I don't actually really understand tokens. But I do know, just shortly, quickly, that anybody can sell tokens and allege that these tokens are worth something. And it's perceived value, what you believe they are worth. But crypto is different than tokens. And I don't know if you know anything about tokens.
No.
So
there was someone talking about that the other week, but I didn't really get it.
Yeah. And funny enough, a lot of the terminology that was used when we asked ChatGPT to give us some information to discuss with you is terminology that bamboozles people who are going to invest in crypto. Now, I did invest in crypto, and I've only ever invested about $500, and I did make about $400 or $500 because I invested in a crypto token called Shimu Inu, and I did it out of spite. Now, the friend that introduced me to it actually invested $5 million and lost $3 million within weeks. And he just was overwhelmed with the fact that he could lose so much money in a hurry. But I said to him, I bought Shimu Inu, which was a token worth 10 cents it was a coin worth 10 cents each, and it went up to something like $1, and all of a sudden my $100 literally become 800 or whatever it was. And I sat there looking at it 800 going, wow, look at this, I know all about crypto. And then it just plummeted, and I took my money out, and out of it I think I made $400 or $500, I can't remember. But I do remember at the time thinking that this is too good to be true. But when it started plummeting, I didn't know when to pull my money out. And I think this is a lot of the problems with people. They don't know, first of all, you might be involved in a platform where you can look at the stats on your phone and you might be feeling good. It might be stroking your ego. And you all of a sudden think, look how much money I've made on my phone. But when you go to get that money from the back end of whatever platform you're involved in, you can't get it back to the real world. So you're sort of playing Monopoly. So if I was going to give people advice, being a financial advisor and all, I'm not a financial advisor, I would say if you're going to get it onto crypto, make sure you can get it out of crypto and back into your bank account before you call yourself an expert. Because I never worried about it for about 4 or 5 months. And then all of a sudden I thought, how do you get your money off this platform? And then people go, don't worry about it, because you can buy a Tesla car with crypto. And I go, I don't have that much crypto. But can I walk into a dairy and use my crypto to buy a can of drink? And the answer to that is no.
No, I think an interesting point is that if you were going to dabble, you could try a small amount of money, like $10, and stick it in, have a look at all the process, maybe record the process to put it in, and then take it straight out.
So somebody
like to learn.
Somebody donated $10 to me the other day, and then I tried, because I've got this coin at the moment which looks pretty good, and somebody donated me $100 worth of this. It's a token, and in the last 15 days, I've actually made at least 10 or 15% from it. And I thought, wow, this is really cool. So somebody donated me $10 USDT. And then I thought, I want to top up this other coin, this other token that I've got. But then I needed gas fees to do it. So I'm with Binance. And Binance wouldn't allow me to transfer the money unless I put money into Binance. And then I thought, I don't want to do that. So then the guy that donated, Crypto G, thank you very much. The guy that donated the $10 US to me then managed to be able to look into my MataMark wallet, and he said, I see that you've got 100, I'll tell you the coin, I'm not telling you to invest in it because I know nothing about it, but it was called Ruby coin. He said,
it's not.
That's my undercover name.
No. Remember there's two coins?
Oh, yeah?
One's Ruby coin, and the other that you're in is, I can't think of what it is.
You're not helping the argument.
No, but there's two Ruby things. One's Ruby coin. It's not that one. It's the other Ruby thing, and I think it's got 3 parts to the name.
Yeah, and this is a really good example because when I told Rob he was researching one called Ruby, thinking that he was looking at the same token or coin that I was, and it gets confusing. So I could have gone out and made a hasty decision thinking, Danny's making a lot of money on this token or coin, whatever it is, and I still don't know the difference, and transferred money onto it. Then I met up with Rob and I go, look at mine, and he goes, that's not the same as mine, and instantly Rob could have all this stupid money that he can't do anything with because there's people who pass off other people's names on crypto because there's some real dirty tactics. So you want to find the actual wallet address, which is normally a 20 character or more, the wallet address, and that will bring up the exact place where I... So my point was, somebody donated me $100 worth of what I call Ruby coin, whether it's right or not, Rob will let me know, and then somebody else donated another $10 of USDT. So then I wanted to transfer that to top up my Ruby coins because Ruby coin was going off, but I didn't have enough gas fees from Binance to do so. So the person, Crypto G, donated me another $2 or $3 so I could afford to move the USDT to my Ruby coin. And by that time, I'm thinking I'm pretty clever. Not, because he's helped me out. But the thing that really amazed me, he could see how much I had in my wallet. He could see how much I had on my hot wallet, which was really amazing. And then I said, what else can you see? So now what we're doing is we're following all these transactions and all these wallet addresses and looking to see where the money goes. And we can see that some people are transferring 1,200 transactions a day. But the problem with that is you can't see who actually owns these encrypted wallet addresses. You can only see the transactions.
Ruby Play Network.
Oh, there you go. Would just cost somebody a fortune who would probably go out and buy all that. But so far I've invested I haven't. People have donated me $110 of Ruby
Play Network.
Right, and now I have $132 in there, and it's only been 15 days. So within 15 days, I've actually made well over 10% interest from my Ruby coin. Ruby, what do you call it?
On paper. You haven't taken it out yet.
So to get that money out, I would have to transfer it back into USDT.
Well, you would have to sell the coin first and hope that there's a person who's going to buy it for the price that it's currently sitting at.
I think tokens are different. I think you put tokens up on like Swap something or other. Swap, what do they call it? Pancake Swap. And then you can basically say, I will sell these at a price. And then somebody else will come along and say, I will buy them at a price. And as long as you're at that point, and you wait long enough, then all of a sudden the transaction will happen. However,
Yes.
with these tokens, literally right now, because it's a crypto
Is it a token
coin,
or a coin?
I'm not sure. And this is why we want to, we might sound like a bunch of blubbering idiots.
Because we are.
Yeah, we could be. But this is the type of people that invest, because I literally have spent 2 years of my life watching people who are 55 and above trying to figure out how to put money into MataMark. Right. So at the moment, I'm going to hold my phone up. So literally in the last 6 hours, my tokens have gone up $2. So I now have $134, and it was just 15 days ago I put in $110. So I have made $24 interest within 15 days for an initial investment. However, this company could actually die overnight, and I could wake up in the morning and go, "Oh, something's wrong with my phone," and I could lose all my money, including, and get this part, the principal. So that is a danger of playing around on crypto. Now, a lot of the stuff that I'm doing at the moment is actually all about people who are investing in crypto platforms. And these crypto platforms are saying, you give us your money and we will guarantee you 1 or 2, or one of them was 1.65% per day. So $100 in their platform, they will pay you $1.65 per day interest just if you invest in this platform. And one of the ones that I was looking at, which is in Nigeria, which is funny, a lot of Nigerians have been asking for my help. Now these I have to say it, these poor Nigerians literally have sold land. They've borrowed money from relatives to invest in this investment opportunity that I researched, that if you put $1,000 in this platform and you did what they said, within 12 months, they were guaranteeing you $200,000 return. So they were paying out at the start, the first few weeks, until your $1,000 has been repaid to you, or until you recruited new people and you got 10% commission and all this sort of carry on. But there was no way for this to sustain itself. And in this series of videos that I'm doing, I really want people to think about a basic fundamental thing. And I'm going to try you out here, Rob. What is it?
Can I say one thing here? 2 things.
You always say 2 things.
First of all, yep. Ruby Play Network is a coin.
Oh, okay.
I think it's based in Christchurch.
It is.
Oh, you knew that?
Yeah, and they're having some announcements coming out next month that's going to make it even go up further.
Okay.
Did you know how much it's worth? How much is this coin worth?
Well, 0.000626, I think.
Yeah. So can you imagine a coin in the bank being worth 0.000? Last time I looked, it was 3.
6/100ths of a cent.
Now, we looked at the volume,
I think,
of that coin, and Rob found a transaction last night of like $1 one day, and maybe at the most, it was stupid.
Oh, yeah. There was some incredibly small transactions, and that's like total transactions on the day.
So what that means is like literally when my friend gave me $100 US into it, we could go through the last 50 transactions and actually see when my friend gave me the $100 US. And that was quite amazing. And I'm thinking the volume of trading in that coin was very, very low. And I still, to this day, do not understand how my $110 that I now initially invested is now worth 130, what did I say, 4?
I could explain that, but I won't. But the one thing that I will say is that you pointed out the difference between buying and selling or trading in a coin or going into a project or a scheme.
Yep.
Because a coin is never going to tell you that you're going to get rewards. It's never going to tell you that you're part of a network, and it's never going to tell you that you're going to earn like 0.5% a day or 1% a day or anything. It's just going to be traded and go up or down depending on what the perceived value is.
No individual is going to sit there in a Zoom meeting talking to you about your initial investment. You can make an informed decision You can look at the history of a token or a coin. Let's use coins.
Mm-hmm.
And you can invest on your own initiatives. You don't need a Chavis or a Sam Lee to help you, or all these guys. So I think if you don't get your head around how to put money into a crypto exchange, how to buy yourself a coin, how to transfer that coin back into USDT, and how to transfer USDT off a crypto exchange back into fiat currency, I think you need to learn that first. And gas fees isn't stroking Binance or Crypto.com's ego. It's actually to help pay for all the computers that run. Just like I explained my mate that was making 8,000...
I just thought of an analogy. Can I say it?
Hold it. Just like I was saying about my mate, keep it in mind. My mate who was making $8,000 a month, but he was also paying $4,500 electricity. That's where your gas fees come from. Just think energy takes electricity, and your gas fees are there to pay those bills. Now, Rob, you had a point, an analogy?
Well, I think this is quite a clever one.
Okay.
If you go to a casino,
Yep.
you have real money, and you put your real money, let's say you're playing roulette, you put your real money on the roulette table. Okay? The dealer, who is the exchange,
Yeah.
takes your real money, counts it, and then hands you
Chips.
the chips,
Yep.
which are the equivalent of cryptocurrency, aren't they? Because those chips are only worth any money on that table.
At that time.
Yep, at that time.
Okay.
They stick that money into a little slot on the thing, and then you work out what you're going to put your cryptocurrency onto, which means you're kind of investing on like black or red on the table, and you're hoping that it comes up or like goes up or whatever, and you get a payout. But either way, if you get paid out, you get paid out less a gas fee.
So when you go and you get your black chips and your red chips and you trot off to the cashier, that's when you might realise that the cashier might say, look, if you want to keep your chips, it's not going to cost you any additional money. But if you want to cash up and walk out the casino doors and transfer it back, because we want to see you here next Saturday night, then you're going to say, well, actually, I don't think I'm from out of town and I'm not coming back, so let's cash up. And the lady might say to you, well, there's an administration fee for transferring out.
Well, there's actually not, because it was when you played. But yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you walk off that table, or if you just stop playing, all right, and you take a break, you're left with their chips, which are the equivalent of cryptocurrency, which even if you walk out the door, you can't spend those anywhere. No one's going to take them. But when you go back, you can have them transferred back. So you can actually bridge it back at the cashier to get your folding money and walk out the door. But a lot of people are having problems actually taking those chips and getting them transferred back into folding money.
So theoretically, if you went to leave the casino, you might think, I'll just keep the chips. And you go to walk out the door and the alarms go off and the guy goes, oh, sorry, those chips, you're not allowed to leave this casino. That could be a problem as well. Or the cashier might actually say to you, well, actually, we pay so much on the black chips and the red chips aren't as much value, and we pay a different amount on those values. And there might even be, because the red chips and the black chips are actually on a different network, like Ethereum versus whatever, the other network.
Oh, good. Well, there's Bitcoin network, I think.
We're not sure. Some other things. So I've got some points here.
That's a good point.
Well, the Ethereum network is one thing.
Yeah.
Now we've got the answers right here, Rob. So if you want to, it's right there, Rob. Read that first line. Read the first line.
To enter the
Get back in the picture. Okay. Don't you wet your pants. Get more about my
To
feet
enter
wet.
the crypto space, you usually start by purchasing a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Ethereum on a crypto exchange using fiat currency.
Right. So we all know how to buy crypto. Now, honestly, in this whole crypto journey, Buying crypto is the most easiest thing you can do. No one, other than your bank trying to stop you from buying crypto, it's not even that hard. Come over this way a bit, Rob. Get in the picture more. There you go. So, where do you keep your cryptocurrency? Don't use Google.
Oh, I'm just trying to work that out, actually, because I've heard of the Ethereum network, and I just asked what network Bitcoin was on.
And this is a great opportunity for you guys to obviously subscribe to our YouTube channel or my YouTube channel. If you go to my homepage of my YouTube channel, you'll find CryptoSage, which is the critical thinker. And this is as good as he gets on a... What night is it?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know what day. I think it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
New Zealand time.
What I'm getting at is we are learning things as we go, so we really appreciate you subscribing, and also we really appreciate your comments. I mean, we're trying to explain things in layman terms. We're not crypto geniuses, but honestly, hand on heart, for the last couple of years, Rob and I have been following these people who invest in these crypto opportunities, and they are the same as us. If you think...
Let me say one thing. Can I say one thing?
No, mate, you keep interrupting me.
We have been listening to this crap from all of these projects for 2 years,
Amazing,
and we're still not bloody experts, and we should be. So how bad is that training? Because a lot of them think, well, you don't even really need to know, or you don't really need to know about this and that and the other thing. As long as you think it's making money, you go sell it.
Yeah,
that's what they do. It sucks.
And imagine, just the other thing that really sucks is imagine investing in a company that told you, well, they don't tell you, but imagine investing in a company and your whole purpose is making sure that you can get what you initially invested back out as soon as possible for them to sustain themselves. It's unethical business practice. So I just want to explain, when you put your money into a crypto exchange, FTX, I think it was over $50 billion went AWOL because he had this beautiful place in the Bahamas.
It was a cracker.
I went there. I loved it.
It was a cracker. I love that spa pool, mate.
Yeah, that private jet that he flew me in on, it was like smash.
I never got to go on that. I was on the helicopter.
Oh, yeah, the chopper. How did you get the chopper? Did you know the private jet had a bowling alley in it?
Did it?
You missed out.
Yeah, strike.
So once you put your money in these exchanges, you're vulnerable. So then you need to have a cold wallet. As we said, cold wallet is like a normal wallet you put in your back pocket. You need to learn how to set up a digital wallet because you need that regardless. So you put things in your hot wallet. So you put it on the platforms, you put it on the exchanges, you do all your dirty work, you buy all your cryptocurrency, whatever ones you want. And I don't believe you should buy any other than just Bitcoin, maybe Ruby something. Yeah. And I'm not affiliated with them, even though they're in my hometown. And I do know they have physical people in the office, but it's going to be in a different story. And then you set that up on your smart devices. So the beauty of having a digital wallet is you can have it online with your mobile phone, your desktop, or your iPad. And then you have a hardware wallet, which is like you can actually buy some device of Amazon where you can transfer your money off a crypto exchange that could fall over, and you could put it in your hard wallet, which is basically like a memory stick. And it's encrypted, you'll have a password and all that 9 yards. But the problem with that is as soon as you leave the casino, and let's say the casino loses all the value of their coins, then you'll still lose the value of your coins. It won't retain the value. You're just going to lose. You're just going to be floating with crypto inflation. But you don't have to worry about Binance or FTX or Crypto.com falling over. And as I said, 24 companies since 2021 that provide exchange services have fallen over. And the top three, one of those companies, had all lost over $450 million. So there's a lot of money that's just getting lost because people rely on exchanges to look after their money, and there's no guarantee any of those. So just last week, the head guy at Binance has now admitted that he's done money laundering for over 100,000 companies, and that is an illegal offence. So the chances of the head guy who's running Binance going to prison is probably quite high. So would you want to keep your money in his bank, so to speak? That's the analogy.
I heard It's an interesting point that you raise about Binance, and I haven't read it all up, but just having a look just before, FTX apparently lost $7.7 to $8 billion.
Is that really quick?
7.7 to $8 billion.
Is that faster?
7.7 to $8 billion.
I still didn't hear it.
Binance is what, the biggest exchange? FTX was one of the top 3, wasn't it?
One of 21 that fell over in the last 3 years.
Yeah, but FTX was one of the top 3 cryptocurrency exchanges. So that fell over.
And did you know I've never actually heard about them until he crashed over?
I
never
had
registered.
I had heard about it just before it crashed because there was a big talk. But Binance, who coincidentally, there's some relationship between CZ or CZ and Sam Bankman-Fried of FTX. I think they were friends at some stage. Well, they may have even been business partners at some stage.
They probably went to the same kindergarten because that's when they started.
So 2 of the top 3 had a connection. But the point is that I think Binance is or was the biggest exchange. So even that, I heard the other day, they're wondering if the fine that Binance has received, which is pretty big, I think $4.2 billion fine, they're actually wondering if that exchange can actually withstand that fine.
Well, as I said earlier on, 2018, they got hacked and they seem to recover from that. And whether they're robbing Peter to pay Paul, who would really know? And I think that's a really valid thing, is if they can pay a $4.2 billion fine, where does that money actually come from? And if the gas fees that they use to exchange cryptocurrencies is going to pay for energy and computer resources, for a use of a better term, then is this company so profitable it can fork out $4.2 billion in a fine? And I'm sure it's one of many fines to come along. And would you feel confident leaving your money on that exchange?
Oh, and it's got here. So it'd be really interesting to actually Google Binance, which is BINANCE. And it says, right, and this seems to be what do they call it? A moving feast at the moment. So it's been fined $4.2 billion. Pretty sure that's right. That investors have pulled $1 billion out of the exchange as of 5 days ago.
Wow.
That there's a chance that it will fall over, but they're also saying that there's a chance that the US government will bail it out because it is literally too big to fail. In other words, if it failed, then there'd be a massive flow-on effect. So that's supposedly the safest exchange that you could put your crypto into.
Right. So the point is, this is Crypto 101 basics. And what we're saying to people, if you're going to get involved in crypto, sharpen up. Learn how to take your money in and out of these platforms. I remember when I moved everything from crypto.com to Binance, and the only reason I did it is because a friend of mine that had $5 million invested in Binance told me it was a better exchange, and within a couple of week period, he lost $3 million. He was actually sitting in my driveway, sobbing his heart out, didn't want to even be on planet Earth anymore, and we managed to get him past that. But these are the sort of things that I get, and this is why Rob and I do what we do. We actually feel for these people we actually feel for mum and dad investments who are taking out their superannuation. I had a guy ring me up the other day, lost only $100,000. He told me that, you know, him and his wife are retired. They get $130,000 to live on a year, and the money that they lost was big, but it wasn't devastating to them, and they seem quite happy about that. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, somebody managed to swindle mum and dad investments who are retired out of $100,000, and even the person that lost $100,000 is sitting here thinking, well, you win some, you lose some. And I see people like Chavis just taking that money, and they know that these guys are easily parted with their money.
Yeah, I'm going to make a correction there. Okay. Because that's not why I do this.
Okay.
I tell you, I have zero empathy for these people. I straight up, I don't think I have zero empathy as a person, but I have absolutely no empathy for these people at all. And it's only because you could put the evidence, the risk right in front of their nose, and they just refuse to look at it.
Yep. Well, he's not wrong, and I must admit I used to share the same viewpoint of Rob until I met a guy by the name of Mike Lucas. Mike Lucas had $25,000 in his bank account. He put $2,000 in. He could see the rewards on the back end. He trusted that people do good business, and then he transferred the rest of his life savings onto Hyperverse, and then he realized it was a scam, and he reached out to me. I'm still looking for a philanthropist to help pay him off. But he did it. He was bedridden. He's on the sickness benefit. He said he works 1 day a week. I don't know how he did that. But he said to me it was out of desperation. And it was his last bet at the casino. And he said that his retirement money of $25,000 ain't going to do him much good. So it was his last hope that he's going to get $75,000 returned to him in 600 days. And now he's lost everything. And I sort of used to think that if you are stupid enough to part with your money, but there seems to be people out there with hand on heart that tell me they believe this was a great investment opportunity and they believed it was real. And that is a really big pill for someone like me, because I used to get stuck into anybody. And I used to be the most vicious bulldog. And I used to go, my motto is, name is shame anyone running or promoting a Ponzi scheme or a scam. And if Rob was invested in a Ponzi scheme and he was trying to push me into it, I'd go after Rob. What the hell just happened to the camera? It's back. We're back. We're back.
Yeah.
That's funny. Is that still funny?
I don't know.
We've gone funny, haven't we?
That's still going.
We're still. Have we got battery? I'm just going to turn the camera off and on, and then that will hopefully reset it.
I think that is battery.
I don't know. Keep talking, Rob.
I think it was battery.
We've got good battery though. We've got good
Oh,
battery. That's frustrating.
Ah.
Anyway,
no.
without further ado, because I'm not actually editing this video.
Recording, is it?
Yep, no, she's all good.
All
good. So the point was...
can I say one thing? Yeah, because I got your point,
Mm-hmm.
and your point is you've got far closer than I have, because you've actually spoken to these people. I haven't.
Yeah.
So I'm just watching as an observer. I'm going on to Zoom meetings. I'm watching there. I'm not conversing. I'm getting a few people who are sending in me messages and updates, but they're not disappointed. They haven't necessarily lost any money. They're just, I don't know, they're almost entertained by what's going on in the community and stuff. Whereas you've actually had these conversations with people that are really hurting. I haven't seen that.
Every single day, and I shit you not, anybody. I mean, I was brought up in a religious cult. I mentioned that in my first video. And I was gaslighted into believing I was going to live on a paradise earth, and all the wicked people were going to be destroyed, and the righteous were going to inherit the earth. And we would have 1,000 years to clean up the earth and get rid of all the dead bodies and all the dead bones and bring the earth back to its original purpose. I solemnly believe that was true. And people who seem to get involved in these crypto investments seem to have the same belief structure. Rob said earlier on, we could tell these people that this is a scam, and it doesn't matter what I say or how I say it, whether I'm nice, whether I yell in their face and say, Pinnaky Nark, whatever it is, they will not listen to me. And it's just part of the business that I'm in. So if you want to sit here and tell me that this is an investment opportunity and I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to get in your face. I'm going to yell at you because you won't listen to me. And then, so I'll give you an example of this, Rob. A business guy rang me just yesterday from Australia, and he's invested in a company called Wee Global. Wee Global was something that Kalpesh Patel, now a guy that I messaged, now if you don't know anything about me, I message these guys. I get in their faces. I'm yelling in their face, you're a dirty, disgusting scammer, you're going to go to hell. I learned that when I was a Jehovah's Witness. And they just laugh at me. And just yesterday, I was in a Zoom meeting, and I was ringing Chavez, a guy running a scam, and he was looking down at his phone. His eyes went all glazy and watery, and he was looking around the Zoom meeting trying to find me so he could kick me out. He had over 300 people in the Zoom meeting. I said, he knows I'm ringing him. I kept ringing him, and I kept ringing him. And then he goes, hello, Danny. I know you're live streaming. I know what you're doing. And he's thanked me for promoting their Ponzi scheme. And I thought, these guys know who I am. These guys know the dirty, disgusting scammers. Anyway, these Australian guys rang me up. They had invested in Wee Global. Kalpesh Patel, he's been promoting it, along with another Ponzi scheme, which I won't go into. The guy said, can I ring you back in an hour and a half? I've got 3 of my mates that have also invested in WeWe Global, and we believe that it's a Ponzi scheme and want your help. Long story short, one of those guys, when we're on the 4-way conversation, said to me, hey, Danny, I've watched all your videos. You're awesome. You're doing a fantastic job. You're amazing. I really respect what you're doing, and good on you for sticking your neck out. These are all probably guys that can afford to invest $100,000. And here I am on the bones of my ass trying to create awareness, telling these people not to invest. This same guy that was blowing wind up my bottom, telling me how wonderful I was, said to me, what we'd like to do, and we've got the meeting coming up in a couple of days, is do a Zoom meeting, because I've got another opportunity which I believe is real and genuine, and I think we should encourage people to invest in this opportunity. I said to the guy, how many different milkshakes? It's a milkshake. You're drinking a milkshake. It's just flavoured a different flavour, but they're all milkshakes. And you want me to get on the internet and tell people about another Ponzi scheme that you think's okay? I just don't understand. And I said, it seems like these business people are out there looking for ways to lose their money. Now, I had a pretty stern conversation, and for people that know me, know that Rob's often telling me to pull my head in. You could have done it a bit calmer. And I'm sitting there saying, are you stupid, mate? Are you a dumb Aussie? I mean, I didn't quite say that, but you would have heard it. And I'm thinking, at what point do you realise that these are the same milk? It's just a milkshake. It doesn't matter what flavour you put in it. You know, the milkshake allergy, I think I've used that too many times today. But anyway, the guy said, well, let's stay. I said, so what are you trying to do by talking to me, the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger, about WeWe Global? He said, I'm worried that now they've rebranded to the blockchain era, that people are going to start reinvesting. And I said, well, so am I. I said, so what I'd recommend you do, let's all get onto a Zoom and we'll create public awareness and we'll name and shame these people that introduced you into it. And the guy goes, ooh, I could hear them thinking. I go, your friends introduced you to it. He's probably on the line right now, is he? Because this is how these Ponzi schemes survive. These guys have got their Superann pension fund. They've managed to get it onto a crypto platform. They've managed to buy tokens, which are worse than coins. And just today, I asked CryptoG to do a bit of research on the blockchain era's new token that they claim is worth value. The first thing he comes back and says to me is, it doesn't look good, Danny. And I said to CryptoG, who's just another guy like me, volunteering his time, hopefully you can be on the meeting on Thursday, because these guys reckon they're going to be on a meeting. And I guarantee we probably won't get anyone because they don't want their name exposed. They're too embarrassed to tell their story. But I just hope that they turn up and they tell people how they were convinced to invest in this opportunity. And I can tell you now that 90% of them will tell me, I only invest because a good friend of mine told me it was a good investment opportunity. And it's always the same story. And I say to them, I don't care what the project is. I just know that all these sounds too good to be true. And I think if they had a more understanding of crypto and how it worked, it would help these guys understand if you can get your money into a platform like that, then you should be able to get it out like that. Every single person that's invested in WeWe Global currently can't get their money out. So they've rinsed and repeated. They've started up another too good to be true opportunity, and people are already investing in it. People are already taking out some reward money to build up that credibility, and their story is they're building a bridge between the WeWe Global and the blockchain area. There's going to be a bridge built one day, not in the too distant future. That will never happen. And then people who have invested in project number 1 will be able to transfer their miracle money over to project number 2. But every single step along the way is just floored with stupid shit. And that's why I get annoyed.
The key thing is here.
There's a key thing. I'm loving
Those
it.
are projects.
Yes.
So things like Hyperverse, Hypernation, projects. WeWe Global.
Ponzi schemes.
Projects. The blockchain era, projects.
Yeah.
When you go on an exchange, you're not investing in a project. You're not investing. In fact, you could even say that a lot of those things aren't even real crypto.
They're not plugged in.
They're not plugged in. They're not in an exchange.
And we might be losing focus of what this whole video was about.
Yeah.
Because they're not plugged into the blockchain for a start. And that's a major thing. They have their own blockchain.
Well, hold on. They're not plugged into an exchange. Because they could be on the blockchain. But an exchange basically means that you're investing in the coin.
They are on a blockchain, their own blockchain.
Yes. Yes. So you can be on a blockchain and you can be a crypto coin, but unless you're on an exchange, no one can actually invest direct into the coin. And it should be pretty simple if you're on an exchange to get in, and it should be pretty simple to get out. But if you're on a project where it's pretty difficult to get out, or somebody can actually shut the door and stop you withdrawing.
Shavas.
Well, Hyperverse, Hypernation, they all just lowered the drawbridge all over. As someone was saying the other day, Crypto G was saying the other day, is that be very wary when one person has the ability to stop withdrawals.
Yeah. And I've said this many a time. The guy that we're talking about at the moment is Shavas, because we've been following a Ponzi scheme called We Are All Satoshi. Now, just to put it in perspective, I talked about this briefly in my previous video, but We Are Satoshi have been flagged as a Ponzi scheme, and in fact, the state of California has issued a cease and desist letter to everyone. And people have gone into their Zoom meetings and said, hey...
Well, I've got a cease and desist letter to We Are All Satoshi and Sam Lee.
Hey?
That's not necessarily everybody, but...
What is it? What did I say?
Said they've issued a cease and desist letter to everybody.
Oh, it's cease and desist to everybody promoting We Are All Satoshi.
Well, to We Are All Satoshi and Sam Lee, assuming that other people will know. But as we saw the other day, when somebody raised that on one of the Zoom meetings, they got... Yeah. So it's just, I mean, if you're going to... And I have talked to the top agencies in the world. I shit you not. I call them the Men in Black. And they have said to me that they are not interested. I have talked to the top investigator who's investigating Hyperverse in the world. All right? And they have told me that they can't do anything about recovering anyone's money. And they said no one held a gun to their head when they handed over their crypto. In fact, if you go back to the start of any of the presentations you watch, they'll read out a disclaimer. If it stood up in court, which I don't believe it would, but would you invest in a company like Apple that read out a disclaimer basically saying all risk, no care, no nothing? And it's just, if you read the disclaimer, I sit there sometimes and I go, hold on a minute, guys, are you reading this? Are you reading what you're investing in? And this is disclaimer. This is not financial advice. You know, it is not a financial opportunity. And then we are not financial advisors. And the very next thing that comes out of their mouth is invest, 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 invest. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah. Right. So what is the blockchain, Rob, just to keep it basics?
Okay. So you can think of a blockchain as a digital ledger or record-keeping system.
You're not reading this off the screen, eh?
That's shared and maintained by a network of computers, and it consists of blocks, each containing a list of transactions. Once a block is filled with transactions, it's linked to the previous block, forming a chain of blocks, hence the term blockchain.
Now, you come up with a good analogy of this, which we're keeping this 101. And we're Apple users, and I have an Apple iPad, an Apple iPhone, and an Apple iPad, MacBook Pro. And every time I update something on my MacBook Pro, it synchronizes between all the devices that I use. And I love that technology.
Yeah, well, if you're in the Notes app and you put a new note in, which is like a new block, then it will be visible on all three devices. The thing about the blockchain is that once you put a note in there, you can't take a note out. So if you transferred money, that transaction will appear on the blockchain. If you made a mistake, you can't reverse it. But you can create another transaction sending it back. And all that basically means is that the blockchain is there to keep a track of every transaction that happened.
Yeah. So as I said earlier on, every transaction has a wallet address, and the wallet address might be like 20 characters long. And as I said, you can see those transactions, but you can't pinpoint who owns that wallet address. But sometimes you can see clusters of wallet addresses that have a lot of transactions, and you can kind of figure out that there must be a key person behind a Ponzi scheme. So we tracked a wallet address that withdrawed $842 million at the same time that all the money disappeared out of Hyperverse wallet address. And we got that looked into by some clever people, and they said that money got broken into small amounts of money and dispersed, and it was too hard for them to track. And then I heard later on that Sam Lee was talking to Kalpesh Patel, telling that they were taking the money out of Hyperverse and transferring it into Bitcoin, which is all hearsay. But if you had a whole lot of people lined up and you want to say to the feds, hey, go after Sam Lee, they're going to say, where's the money? And somebody's going to say, well, we just transferred $842 million into $10,000 lots and threw it around the universe. They don't have the man-hours to go after those sort of people, which makes it incredibly hard. So even though it's transparent and technically you can track every transaction, we don't know who owns those transaction wallets. And that's why you can spend hours and hours researching this stuff. And in court, it would be, I believe, very hard to prove who's got the money and when and why.
Probably impossible. So every transaction is recorded. And so that's why the blockchain has got uses for other things, and it's decentralized. So one person or one entity or one organization doesn't control all of those computers, those nodes that manage the blockchain. They're all over the world, maybe. And so you can't undo any of them. So if you make a transaction, it's there forever. But as Danny was saying, you don't know who made the transaction, you don't know who received the exchange of money or anything like that. But of course, whoever owns the wallet can open up their wallet and see that there was money going in or going out. Well, obviously it was going out, then they removed it out. But if someone was paying them, because rumours were, is that sometime over the scan of crypto's life, there have been a lot of transactions where people have moved money from their wallet into someone else's wallet and actually got the number wrong.
Yeah.
And it's turned up somewhere else. But of course, once it's gone, it can't ever come back.
And it's like your regular bank would be able to say, oh, we know what bank that was because of the suffix at the start. And they would be able to wait a couple of days. It would bounce around the bank network and come flying back into your into the bank's account where it left, but not with crypto. It doesn't work the same way.
Yeah, it is transparent that transactions happened. It is completely non-transparent about who made the transactions.
Yeah. So there's some real beauty and some real clever technology. And don't think we're not technology buffs. We love technology. There's no doubt about that. We also at the moment, there's a thing you can do with We Are All Satoshi, and they're basically enabling people to be able to sell, buy what they call nodes. And some people, the terminology used does actually baffle myself, but then they have this other thing you can buy is you can become a validator. So I don't know if you've ever heard of those terms, but basically nodes and validators seem like they're not too far apart. They both perform tasks. And a node is basically, I don't know, did you summarize what a node was? Help me out there,
Well,
Rob.
I'll just read it out. A node is any device, like a computer or server, participating in a blockchain network. Nodes maintain a copy of the entire blockchain, i.e. all of the transactions, and follow the protocol rules of the network. They can act as wallets, miners in proof-of-work systems, or simply relay transactions in blocks to help maintain the network. Nodes contribute to the decentralization and security of the network. And basically, decentralization just means is that one person doesn't control the whole thing. Now,
So,
validating.
I'm just going to, yeah, I do. I was just going to think. So a node is actually could be like, from my understanding, and excuse me if I'm wrong, but that is a piece of hardware as well. So a node can be a piece of hardware that is plugged in, burning electricity at a rate that you don't really want to burn through, but it is, and at the moment, one of the Ponzi schemes that we're busting is We Are All Satoshi, are actually selling these nodes for $27,000 each. and they limit the amount of these nodes that they sell to hopefully stimulate the value of them. And you need, if you have 300 of these nodes out there in Cyberland, then you only need one node to run a whole platform. But by having 300, it kind of makes the network more stable. That's what I got from it.
Yeah, if any nodes go offline, then the system still keeps on going. Because whilst one computer can do all of the work, obviously if you've got two or more, then it just means that it's secure. And of course, having two or more means that it's not centralized, which is what everybody is trying to get away from. It just means that no one person or one thing can control everything or act in a nefarious way, i.e. to rewrite the blockchain.
So imagine Rob decides to pay $27,000 to buy a node. What he's promised is he will get a very good return by having a piece of hardware plugged into the ecosystem, for use of a better word. So Rob's electricity bill might go up to $1,000 a month because he's running this computer that burns a lot of resources, electricity. Now, because of that, he will get compensated by people's gas fees, perhaps, or transaction fees.
Well, just one interesting point here is that if you have a blockchain which doesn't have a lot of transactions, you won't actually be incurring a large electricity cost.
Even though you might have to fork out for a computer and buy all that sort of stuff?
You'll have to fork out for a computer, but as you remember on We Are Satoshi, the computer required, the minimum specs is only 50 gig solid state drive, 8 gig of RAM, and a quad core CPU, which is pretty basic stuff these days. It's not a high-powered computer. And if you're running that, just like if you were running your MacBook 24 hours a day, wouldn't actually take a lot of money. But if the blockchain became far more intensively used, so on We Are All Satoshi, they're talking about there's other companies that might want to use their blockchain. So those nodes, the work that those nodes would increase, which means you might have to move from a laptop, which sits on your desk and basically operates on very low throttle, to some massive computer that needs heaps of fans and cooling and makes noise and gets hot and all that kind of stuff.
So one computer wouldn't be substantial. For example, if I wanted to mine for Bitcoin, I would need a very powerful computer to do so compared to mining for BTCC?
Yeah. Well, as far as I understand it with Bitcoin, what they're trying to do is they're trying to make it as difficult as it can, just because otherwise everybody would be in there mining, which means it would be completely uneconomic for everybody because you wouldn't get anything. Like you'd get some infinitesimal percentage of a Bitcoin when they are released every 10 minutes. Wouldn't be worth anybody's while. So they're trying to... I don't know if they're trying to do it or if it was just built into the system. Those calculations are really hard, which means a massive amount of fast computing power, which means more CPUs, more RAM, more heat, more cooling required, more size, more power, more everything.
And I think what it really comes down to is scarcity. A lot of these coins, the harder it is to mine. As for example, if you're going to mine for diamonds versus gold or copper or tin, the harder the mining, the more scarce a coin becomes. And that's why you often hear that there's only 21 million Bitcoin available. And they reckon it's going to take to 2140 before all the Bitcoin is actually mined. Isn't that incredible? But by that time, I assume, well, they're probably hoping that the computers that are used to mine and do these mathematical equations to produce a coin will probably be something like we used to use calculators. Now we use iPhones. iPhone, I think it's a little bit more powerful than a calculator. So one day this iPhone will be like a calculator, and they'll use those resources to mine the rest of Bitcoin. Now, I don't want to confuse you guys. I don't want to overwhelm you guys. We've been going for over an hour now. This was meant to be a short video just to give you some understanding about crypto. But there is a difference. If you heard the word validator and node, someone in one of the meetings actually asked, what's the difference between a node and a validator? And the guy running the meeting, which was Shavis, didn't really have a smooth, easy answer. So let's just have a look. So we've sort of explained briefly what a node is. What would a validator be, Rob?
Right. Well, maybe just before we talk about validator, a node seems to be there are several nodes that are in a network, and they are basically doing the mining. They are operating as the wallet. They are recording all of the transactions. They are recording the entire blockchain, and that is basically what they are. The validator is a specific type of node. So it's a node that has like an extra purpose that participates in the consensus process of validating transactions and creating new blocks. So while the node is writing the transactions and recording the blocks, the validator is validating the transactions to make sure that this transaction that's coming through is actually legit, and it's creating the extra blocks to add on to the blockchain. So validators play a crucial role in proof of stake, POS, and other consensus algorithms. Then they are selected to propose and validate new blocks based on the amount of cryptocurrency they stake or lock up as collateral. Validators are responsible for ensuring that transactions added to the blockchain are legitimate and adhere to the network's rules.
Oh, so validator sort of is the name validator. It validates things.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
In other words, a node is a node, and a validator is a node and some.
So node isn't abbreviated? It's not an acronym?
Not that I know of.
No, because validator makes sense. I'm thinking, I've never heard of the word node until now, really. Some useless pieces of information. We haven't talked about NFTs. However, NFT was originally designed to sort of like help Banksy out. Banksy had a bit of art, and theoretically it was like a digital piece of artwork that would be verified, and you'd get a certificate, and then it would be put onto the blockchain. Do you know where all the artwork is stored that is on the crypto market? So everyone's talking about NFT market, right? I don't know if you know this, but I was quite surprised when somebody told me that NFTs are not stored on the blockchain.
Right, yeah.
But the address to where the file lives is stored on the blockchain.
Because it's a transaction.
Yeah. So you still need all the NFTs in the world, trillions of terabytes.
Hold on. It can't, yes. Talking out loud here.
Yep.
An NFT can't be stored on the blockchain, because if the NFT was stored on the blockchain, then the NFT ceases to be unique at that point, because it would have to be replicated for every node on that blockchain.
It's not the reason. The reason is that the file is too large, and it would use up too many gas fees to keep all those.
And it would have to be constantly rewritten, maybe.
Yeah, so it would be like getting your calculator going 2 times 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 5012, whatever it is. But yeah, so that was quite interesting to me, because I thought, NFTs are like, on the blockchain, but only the address to where the NFT lives is stored on the blockchain. And then it might actually help you realize the amount of transactions that are happening on the blockchain is obviously to keep the gas fees as low as possible. Just a bit of useless information. So in summary, with looking at our Crypto 101, we provided a quick overview of what cryptocurrencies are, and we liken them to fiat currency, which is what we all know about banks. And then basically, if you want to get your money into crypto, you need to use your credit card, and you need to use an exchange. It's not really rocket science. And once you get your money onto the exchange, then you need to know how to convert your money into a currency that you can use to purchase goods. So there's tons of different for example, my Ruby coin, it has a nice wee suffix, and I can transfer my Ruby coin into USDT. USDT is kind of like the universal, it's just like USDT. It is the universal currency that all the exchanges seem to sort of use, and it's probably the most stable currency. Once you get your money into that, you can normally transfer it yourself out. Now, just picking on We Are All Satoshi, they have their own blockchain, and people are looking on their phones, and they can see all their transactions and everything that's happening, and they're literally transferring their money from the WOZ token into USDT, and they're going, well, I've got the money here, but their blockchain isn't connected to a real blockchain where a real exchange. And they keep telling people who keep investing that they're going to build a bridge. And there's going to be a bridge where they can get it off their blockchain and connect it to another blockchain. And this is where a lot of people get scammed, because they think they can see their USDT on their phone, but it's not connected to any place they can get that money out of the platform. Now, I might be wrong, because it does happen, but that is why, as far as my knowledge goes, everybody that's investing their money into these platforms, it's a one-way street. So before you put any of your money into any platform, and I hope you don't put them into any platform, because I haven't found one platform that's delivered on their promises yet. Stay away from the platforms. Have a play on crypto if you want to. You know, buy some Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin's gone up. I think I saw it at $26,000 US. I think I saw it up to $33,000. It's gone up to $65,000 US. So there is a chance there, if you put your money into Bitcoin, you can make money, but then you are in total control. Now, let's just say you go along and you buy yourself one Bitcoin and it costs you $33,000, and you leave it on a crypto exchange like Crypto.com or Binance, and you decide that you can see it there, you can pick up your phone, you can look at it. If Binance or Crypto.com fall over, you lose all your money. It's gone. And as far as I'm aware, unless you put that Bitcoin onto your cold wallet and you keep that key secret, your money's not secure. Now, if I'm wrong, and I have been wrong, as I said, please do give us comments and give us advice. We're not here as claiming to be anyone. We're not claiming to be crypto geniuses, but we are claiming to be people helping mum and dad investors. Now, Rob and I have been looking at this stuff for the last couple of years. I've had people trying to sue me for $3.8 million in the New Zealand High Court. I've been published in the New York Times because of my quest to name and shame anyone. You know, so theoretically, if you didn't know me and you haven't ever reached out to me or gone to my website in any which way or form and give me information anonymously, you might think that I know my shit. And we don't. and we know a little bit, and we're like fishermen, and we're always looking for accurate information. You know, and if you think that we are full of shit and you think you know better and we don't know anything, then good on you. That's fine. But we're not here to help people who know it all. We're here to help people who are mum and dad investors. And I've seen them with their phones, holding their phone up to a scammer, asking them how do they transfer money onto the platform. But they haven't stopped and asked the fundamentals. How do I get my money out of the platform? And you know, some people will let you take some money out, but then when you try the second time, cut you off.
I come back to the original point.
What was that? I've forgotten.
Is that I don't think he's an Einstein.
Talking about fiction.
And I don't think I'm an Einstein. But we're not stupid.
We're not dumb.
And neither are you. So why is it that we could watch so many YouTube trainings for so long and we still have so many gaps in our knowledge? It's because of the students not learning, the teachers not teaching. And you've got to ask yourself, why are people keeping all of their people in their communities dumb?
Yeah.
So what has come up for me tonight is that if you want to get into crypto, the simplest way is go and choose a coin on an exchange and transfer your fiat currency, your folding dollars, via a credit card. Get in, do some research, make a decision, put some money in. If you make some money, a good thing is take your money out or even right at the start, actually work out how to get in and out. But then if you make some money, take your profit out and leave the rest in there. And then if anything falls over, because a lot of people are conspiracy theorists who are on crypto.
Oh, I haven't met many of those.
Let's face it, right? They're probably climate deniers, COVID deniers, and every other type of deniers.
How many injections did you
and
have?
I know that's
I had
I can't even remember how many I
didn't
had,
get all 3.
but I'm still here.
Yeah.
All right, but the point is that, and you completely threw my point now. But
Sorry, mate.
the point is that if you're investing, you can go straight into an exchange, invest in crypto, just like you would invest in a sharing company. But as we've seen, a lot of these conspiracy theories just keep on and on and on, how banks are unsafe and the governments are corrupt and all this kind of stuff. But I tell you what, we've just shown you tonight, FTX, too big to fail, failed. Binance, too big to fail. It may not fail, it may get propped up or it may get
and it's been
some
hacked.
legislation.
2018.
It's been hacked.
Yep.
And these are two of the biggest 3, two of the 3 biggest crypto exchanges that exist. So just imagine if there were 2 of the biggest banks in the world fell over and everybody who had hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, millions, billions of dollars in there, gone.
I've got an interesting scenario for you, Rob. You've got a mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine transferring your mortgage into crypto and going to a mortgage broker in crypto land and say, look, I need to buy a house. I want you to borrow me 500,000 crypto or USDT and come up with a mortgage repayment plan for me for the next 25 years. Would you say, don't trust the banks? They are making lots of money out of you, mate. Go to crypto. And if not, why not?
It's just nonsense. And as I've said before, because of the risk involved and at all the stages, because of the ticket clipping at all the stages, all the things that can go wrong, you need a pretty sizable return to make it worthwhile. But with those sizable returns, the risk just goes up and up and up. Yeah. Banks here are paying pretty crap interest rates, but the risk of you losing your money is almost zero.
They don't lose the principal. And you'll never find one of these scammers telling you about not worrying about losing your principal. Sam Lee did a talk just last week that I recorded in one of my videos, and he was talking about how people, he tells people that they must get in day one. They get the initial investment back as soon as possible, and then recruit. And he said, if you're not invested in day one, don't be prepared to think you're going to get your money back. And he said that's the best chance, not the guaranteed chance, but the best chance of getting your money back is making sure somebody rang up.
Making sure you're at the top of the pyramid.
That's right. And somebody rang up and said, I didn't get all my money out. And the first thing he said, did you invest on day 0? And they went, no. And he said, that's why. Next. And I'm sitting here thinking, really? So these guys are unethical. We've basically done our video. This is just 101. We really do appreciate you guys giving us your feedback. And that's done with the comments section. Ask us questions. It helps us produce our next video. The next video is all about these suckers. That is a red flag. And Rob and I have got one. I'm not sure if Rob will be on my next video. But red flags and warning signs. What's some telltale things that you can look out for before you actually hand over your fresh USDT to anybody? And what should you be looking at? And I can give you a whole list of things, but I'm not going to do that. But just to finish the night, to make it more interesting, I thought, what's some cliches that you've heard lately?
Only invest what you can afford to lose.
Have you heard of those words before? Isn't that the most stupidest term? I said to people, if I can afford to lose it, that means I can afford to walk out my front door and throw my money into the streets and not give a shit about it. Since when do you invest in things thinking that you may lose your investment?
A classic is, I just want my 1x back.
And the 1x back, I used to do a lot on Keith Williams, who currently has stage 4 cancer and going through what they call nuclear chemotherapy. Now, he is living in a £3 million house, got a couple of $1 million in the bank and a few investments, and Andrew, his son, is now looking after his investment. He made a ton of money from promoting these Ponzi schemes and scams. And I don't know why I'm telling this story, but I think a lot of people don't realise it's not about what they're guaranteeing you're going to get. It's all about the commissions that they get for referring people into these Ponzi schemes. So when that friend and family member comes along and they start talking crypto jargon that you don't understand, just remember, they're not actually really trying to sell you the project. They're actually trying to get the commission money that you'll get as soon as you hand over your money. And as I said in my previous video, Rob actually worked out that 52% of the money that went into these platforms went out in commissions to paying the multi-level marketers. So just look the person in the eye, just like Kent Berryman, the guy that tried to introduce me to Hyperverse, told me that. He said to me exactly this. He said, do you think I'm stupid? I'm a successful businessman. He's offering to pick me up and drop me off to take me to an event to push Hyperverse. He said to me that if you come along to this event on Wednesday night, I can teach you how to invest and you can actually afford to buy your own home. That's the sales pitch this guy went to. And I said to the guy, you're a scammer. And he goes, oh, I'm not a stupid businessman. I said, you're just trying to get the referral money. Stand up for yourself. Reach out to us if you want to tell us your story. Go to my website. I'll click it one more time. But go to my website. There's a form on my website where you can submit your information. Every single day I get people telling me they've lost money to these crypto opportunities. I hope that Rob and I have helped sort of share some light on the understanding of cryptocurrency.
Don't be the person who says, I just want my 1x back, because it basically means your 1x is your capital. And while some people have made a huge amount of money and have lovely houses and everything like that, the rest have lost their capital investment, their seed money, their 1x, their 1 times what they put in.
Their principal,
that's it, their principal. The principal's gone. And once the principal's gone, the principal's gone. And
yeah,
I could come up with a terrible analogy there, but I won't.
That's why I started talking about Keith Williams, because when he became the global sales representative for HyperNation, at that point his best friend, well, one of his best friends, come along and told me that Keith thought he could trade his way out of this. And he decided that he would go and do a campaign and help people get the initial investment back. And that's why he became the global sales representative for HyperNation.
Ambassador, wasn't it?
Oh, something shocking. You know, and these guys, like he said that Brenda Chunder brought in $640 million for Hyperverse. Clayton Ford was another guy that made a whole ton of money out of it. You know, we've got Kalpesh Patel that I've heard, whether it's...
they're all schemes though, aren't they?
They were all schemes.
They're all schemes. They're not cryptocurrency.
All the people at the top of these schemes, and they were going like this. And now I realise why they were going like this in their meetings, because it looks very much like that. And if you go like that, it looks very much like a pyramid. And they were at the top of the pyramid.
Stay on a currency. Don't go on a crypto scheme. Stay on a cryptocurrency.
Yep. I'm Danny de Hek, a.k.a. the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger, and you are...
Someone else. Who's not a financial advisor, who didn't give any financial advice, gave this for entertainment and educational purposes, we hope. So you can be part of the community by signing your life away below with information to help everybody.
Yeah. All right. Hey, thanks for watching. Look forward to the next video, and we'll show you some of the red flags and warning signs. Thanks for watching. Red flag time. Yay! Smile, Rob. You've been listening to Danny de Hek, a.k.a. the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger. Thank you for getting to this end of the podcast. Hope you've enjoyed it. Feel free to search me out on the internet. Just search for Danny de Hek. You'll find me all over the place. I have an awesome YouTube channel, which I do videos every week. So just go to youtube.com/de Hek and you'll make my day. Hey, thanks for listening, and please do make sure you subscribe. And any comments, feedback, or suggestions, find my website and send them through. Have a great day.